for the future, your mission, in a way that gets people to want to work for you and really get in there, not just do it as a paycheck player, but they're going to want equity. They believe in what you're doing. The ability to inspire people, to lead people, the ability to go to investors and raise money. You could have the best idea in the world, but if you suck at explaining it, good luck. I'll tell you a story about that. I was hired by a brilliant guy, a trader, who was a volatility trader, and he had an 8-year track record of returning 12% above the S&P 500 on $500 million of his own money. Now, I don't know if you know how ridiculous that is, to beat the S&P by 12%, okay, on average, with size, not with like $1,000, with size over a sustained period of time. And he wanted to start his own hedge fund and raise a few $1 billion, and he couldn't raise money. And he hired me to try to help him raise money. So he paid me it was like $100,000 for like a 1-hour consultation by Zoom. Okay, he's a very wealthy guy, all right? And over 1 hour, he's explained to me what he does, and I am really sophisticated when it comes to the stock market, as you can fucking imagine, and financial issues. After 1 hour, I didn't know what the fuck the guy was doing. I'm like, I couldn't understand what he was trying, how he was making money, I said, listen, buddy, I'll tell you this. Number one, if I don't understand it, no one's gonna fucking understand it, right? And if you hire me, I promise you, I will teach you how to sell, because I knew it was something that I just didn't quite know what was going on. He hired me, paid me $1 million, okay? And very quickly came to my house, we spent a day together. Within about 4 or 5 hours, I understood what he was doing. It's the simplest fucking thing. The simplest fucking thing. And the why, the edge he had, the reason he was able to do this made sense. He had been working on the floor of the options exchange since he was 16 years old. His dad had been the chairman of the exchange. He had charts and graphs and experience going back and models. It all made sense. And he had this, and it was and the type of fund he was doing with no 2 and 20, meaning no 2% management fee and no 20%. He only was charging you 30% of what he did above the S&P. A great fucking fund. He couldn't raise money. Well, we worked together for about a week and a half or two, then I went to a couple of meetings with the guy. He ended up raising billions of dollars for the fund, and the first year, he beat the S&P by 118%. Well, don't clap yet, because the fucking next year wasn't so good. So unfortunately, and he's the nicest guy in the world. He beat the S&P by 118% because he had some huge trade on, and the fucking VIX went wild, the volatility exchange, and he just sent it in, and he was voted #1 new hedge fund of the year. And then the next year he took down ABN AMRO. Something fucking happened. There was a disparity, and it was a once-in-a-lifetime black swan event where he did nothing wrong, did not get in trouble. You get it? And the markets locked up. I think it was right around COVID. And they froze his positions. He got locked out in the margin. Anyway, lost everything. And it cost ABN AMRO like $800 million. I think even more. Who fucking knows? The point, that's just the sad part of the story. But the point is at the end of the day, you could have the best idea in the world. You could have even, by the way, you could even have the best business plan for that idea. But if you don't have the ability to explain it in a way to people that gets them to want to buy into it with their time, their money, their sweat equity, whatever that might be, it's going to be very difficult to succeed. And that's why I always say it's the single most important skill. But it's not the only skill, but it's fucking mission critical. Now, when I say, getting people to say yes, let me just very quickly tell you what that doesn't mean. In sales, I'm using sales in the terms of as an entrepreneur, in all the things that you would need, negotiating leases, raising money, everything, recruiting people, and selling shit, whatever it might be, right? Let me tell you what it doesn't mean. What a professional salesperson, professional communicator does not do is you're not looking to take people who are not interested in what you have and somehow, magically, through pressure or semantics or some clever sleight of hand, get those people to say yes. That's not what a professional communicator does. That's a fool's errand, okay? It's actually very different. What a professional salesperson, so it doesn't hold you back. So that you feel comfortable when you find yourself in that situation and you excel. So if you suck, you become good enough. If you're good, you can become great. If you're great, you can become one of the best. You can get better. And you remove it from the equation. And I urge everybody, you hate fucking paying taxes. So what do? You go to an expert. You go to an expert, right? And I believe in mentors. So learn. Grow yourself. You grow yourself, you can't help but succeed. I think one of the big mistakes people make when they do go into business is sometimes they fail to realize that the business they've chosen requires a specialized skill or specialized knowledge. And they don't take the time to truly fucking learn it, to educate themselves, to grow themselves. Like real estate. Eddie does it. You're gonna buy real estate. Well, what do you want to do? Fucking reinvent the fucking wheel? Or go to a proven expert who will show you do A, do B, do C. You gotta be a moron not to. And real estate is awesome, especially here in Florida, right? It's like a fucking printing press, right? So why wouldn't you? But people are weird. No, I'll do it. I'll figure it out myself. You know, I'll go to chat GPT and good fucking luck with that, right? And I hallucinate you'll be buying an old age home and fucking after they invent longevity drugs that make people live forever, right? But the point is this, okay? Sales is not one of those skills that you might have to learn. You have to learn it. So let me very quickly give you a tip here. Because I only have like 11 minutes to go and I can fucking speak for 3 hours if they let me. They need the hook to take me off if they would let me, right? But what does it really mean when I say, turning, let me think about it to yes? Here's the basic gist of it. Number one, when you think of sales, it's really about certainty. So, sales is the transference of emotion. And the primary emotion you're transferring is the emotion of certainty. So really quick, if there's a marker here, there is a marker here, perfecto. Okay, watch. So we'll do this real quick, watch this thing, a 1 and a 10, a continuum of certainty. 1 means someone is not certain, or I think it's the biggest piece of shit in your idea, and a 10 is absolute certainty. So let's say you're pitching somebody on investing in your company, and after you're done giving them the presentation, they say to themselves, that is the fucking biggest piece of shit I've ever heard. This company has no shot of working. It's a stupid idea. It's a stupid business plan. It'll never scale. It makes no fucking sense. It's going to be probably out of business before it starts in business, right? Where would you want someone to be when you ask them, so I'd like you to put in $1 million. Where would you want to be, a 1 or a 10? And a 10 is close to it, right? Right? And then, of course, you have the different layers of that, right? Well, they could be at 5. It's not the worst piece of shit in the world, but it's not the best. It's like ambivalence. Then you have a 7. That sounds pretty good, not nearly as good as a 10. A 3 kind of sucks loose cock, but not as bad as a fucking 1. Right? You have the continuum. Why? Because there's typically a third element involved, and sometimes they can collapse into one, but mostly that's distinct. And that is the company that stands behind the idea. Who's on your team? Or, what company is delivering the product? They don't trust the company, especially in a sales setting where you're delivering a product. Yeah, great, I love the product itself. Wow, that's great insurance. This is great insurance. The health insurance is great. And I love the insurance agent, but that fucking carrier, they're never gonna deny. They're gonna deny my claims. They're one of those people that should probably, be thrown in jail for just screwing over all the people because they're just so damn greedy. They're the problem and blah, blah. Right? Essentially, one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they influence, when they try to close, when they try to get someone to say yes, is they are blissfully unaware that it's not just about the idea. You're not just selling an idea. You're not just selling a concept. You're not just selling a product. You're selling you, yourself, and the company that stands behind you. And in fact, the goal is to get someone to a 10, 10, 10, or as close as you can in a single moment in time and ask them to buy or invest or place an order, whatever it might be. And if you get them, then you got a good shot. And if you don't, well, then there's other ways you can go about in the process I call looping to increase their level of certainty beyond that. It gets a bit out of this, we only have, 5 minutes left, right? But the point is, and I said it's the transference of emotion, right? Your transfer. So here's my question. Where are you on the certainty scale at the beginning of the encounter? Well, I'll give you a hint. You better be at a fucking 10 and damn sure of it, or you're selling the wrong thing. In other words, why are you at a 10 and why aren't they? You know why? Because you know everything there is to know about what you're selling. You know all the benefits. You know how awesome it is. You know how hard you'll work with someone, how ethical you'll be, how much value you'll deliver, how great you know all this. They don't know. So it's your job. When I say transfer certainty, that certainty comes from you. I call it the straight line, but this art, this way you go about doing that, well, that's like the pipes, the HVAC system. That's like the pipes in a house. You have a boiler in the basement. You have the pipes, and you have rooms. Well, if you want to heat the rooms or cool the rooms, say you want to heat the rooms, right? Well, guess what? The straight line is like the pipes.